Welcome to Vertical Body class. We are going to get started today, but instead of vertical body in space, we are going to be vertical body but on the floor, so more of a horizontal body, if you will. You will need your Fletcher towel. You will need your chair positioned at the head of your mat, so when you're laying on your back and you reach your arms overhead, you can reach for your chair. And you'll need some sort of a sturdy yoga type strap. I'm just using the strap that I carry my yoga mat on, so it has these handy little loops. And that will be for later. So let's come down to the floor gracefully. So we'll come down, reaching the hands out in front, find the fingers on the floor, follow with the knees. Set your hip off to one side, and then we stretch the legs out. So just stretch out on your back on the floor. Sometimes those ponytails have to get repositioned. You want to be able to feel the back of your skull on the floor nice and heavy. So make sure you can feel your skull on the floor. And we'll press palms up the back of the arms into the floor. So take a moment here and feel your bones on the floor. Notice where you feel pressure and where you don't feel pressure. Feel the collarbones widen and just tuck those shoulder blades underneath you. All right, give me 1 second, I just want to make sure. Okay, yes. Just double checking to make sure that camera 2 is in fact working. Had some technical issues of late. Okay, so we're on the floor, shoulder blades are underneath. See if you can feel the flatness of your shoulder blades underneath you. You generally feel the weight of the sacrum, and then feel the center of the pelvis really settle into the floor. Notice if your tendency is to tuck your pelvis and press your lower back into the floor. See if you can untuck your pelvis and just allow the pelvis to be a little more neutral and flat. If you have a tendency to really arch your back, draw the front ribs down and in. So every body needs something a little bit different there. Let's take the hands to the ribs and just observe the breath. Notice where you feel it. Do your ribs move at all when you breathe? Is it all in the belly? Or is it all in the chest? See if you can develop an awareness of the breath in both areas. So you feel the belly, you also feel the rib cage as you breathe, so you feel the whole body just widen. And then as you exhale, feel the torso narrow in towards your natural waist. So just bringing an awareness now to the natural waist. Sometimes it helps to put your hands on your natural waist, so you'll feel the base of your ribs with your index finger and your thumb, and you'll feel the waistline with the heel of your hand. And we're trying to keep the collarbones really wide here and press the elbows down. So that will encourage the shoulders to stay back. And it does take a little bit of wrist organization there. So see if you can widen your waistline as you inhale. And then narrow your waistline as you exhale. Widen your waistline as you inhale. Getting a little more movement in the ribs, and narrow the waistline as you exhale. 2 more breaths. One more. Now, press your arms down at your side. Let your belly and your ribs puff up and off the floor as you inhale. Feel your back leave the floor, and as you exhale, feel the ribs and the belly come back down to the floor. Try to keep your pelvis very still, so the pelvis is not moving as you're doing this. It's just this upper hemispheric breath experience. Inhale. Exhale. 2 more breaths. Notice if your shoulders want to peel off the floor. I'm definitely having to focus on keeping the back of my shoulders still. So what we notice here is how much everything wants to kind of get pulled into the experience of breathing, right? So the pelvis sometimes wants to get pulled. The shoulders want to get pulled. And depending upon what's happening in your body, sometimes it's one more than the other. So what's challenging here is to keep the bones of the shoulder girdle and the bones of the pelvis very still and feel the experience of the breath truly in the middle of the body. Feel the movement of the ribs without additional movement in the shoulders or the pelvis. And I notice here how much I just want to wiggle to reduce tension. So let's draw the right knee into the chest. Holding onto the shins, push the shins into the hands a little bit so you're not just yanking on the knee joint. You're pushing the shins into the hand. The hand draws the leg towards you. Lift your head up, drawing your forehead towards your knee, and press your opposite leg down. And try not to cram your chin into your chest. So you are trying to maintain some semblance of length in the neck. But we're taking 4 breaths here. And as you exhale, breathe the back of your ribs into the floor. As you inhale, widen the ribs across the mat. You can exhale out of the mouth or out of the nose. One more breath. Lower the head down. Switch legs. Lift the head. Lower that leg and the head back down. Okay, let's pick up our Fletcher towel, fold it in half. Measure your shoulder girdle to make sure you know you're holding your towel correctly. And we're reaching the towel toward the ceiling. Find the ribs heavy on the floor. If you're not sure how to measure your Fletcher towel, I do have many other videos that go over that more in depth. So we'll pull the towel taut on the inhale directly over the chest. Make sure you're not over your collarbones. You're really over your chest. And pull your armpits down toward your ribs. Let's bring the legs together and flex the feet, pushing the back of the thighs into the floor. So you're really trying to feel the back of your thighs into the floor. Inhale, pull the towel taut. Exhale, let it go slack. Inhale, pull the towel taut. Exhale, let it go slack. Inhale, pull the towel taut. Exhale, let it go slack. How vertical can you maintain your body here? Can you keep the heels pressing into the floor, the thighs pressing into the floor, the skull pressing into the floor, the back of the ribs, the back of the pelvis, the back of the shoulders? 2 more here. Inhaling to pull. Exhaling, let it go slack. Really develop an awareness of this armpit connection and feeling those shoulders connect right there. You want to feel that muscle engage. Pull the towel taut now. Hold it taut. Press your thighs down. Really active legs, pulsing the towel. We use a double breath. Last set. Now keep the towel taut, bend one knee and then the other. Legs are a little wider than the pelvis, but press your feet down and pull your heels towards your butt without moving them, so the hamstrings are activated. Inhale, tap the elbows on the floor. Keep pulling with your legs. Exhale, press the towel up to the ceiling. So legs are working, arms are working. Inhale. Your body is a really strong rectangle frame. So the shoulders and the hips, the line down the sides of the body, The width of the chest and the pelvis make a perfect rectangle. You're feeling the back of your skull, the feet, the shoulders. Now press your elbows to the floor and see how much of your shoulder blade and the back of your armpit you can feel on the floor without letting your ribs go jumping up toward the ceiling. So can you keep your ribs on the floor, your shoulders on the floor, and then what happens to the pelvis, right? Sometimes we want to tuck the pelvis to make all of that happen. So that's why you're pulling with your legs to keep your pelvis stable. Just feel this, keep the towel taut, and notice the asymmetrical experience in both shoulders. Usually it doesn't feel the same on both sides. If it does, bravo, you're perfect. All right, inhale, exhale, push that towel toward the ceiling. Keep those hamstrings on. Inhale, exhale, pull the elbows to the floor and feel the stability of everything pressing into the floor. If your hands are getting tired, then think of using your arms more to push the towel up rather than squeezing so hard with the hands. That's a sign that you need to use the biceps, the triceps, and the sense of protracting the arms out of the body a little more, and a lot more lats. So if you're overusing your hands, you're underusing your lats and your serratus. Full breaths. Inhale, exhale. Inhale, exhale. Inhale, exhale. Inhale, exhale. Hold the towel above your chest. Bring one leg to tabletop. Bring the other leg to tabletop. Press them together. Yeah, and it's a 90 degree angle. Your shins are parallel to the ceiling. Your knees are directly over your pelvis. And then we bend the elbows. Bring the elbows to the floor. Push the elbows into the floor. Keep your towel taut. Okay? Toe taps. Right leg touches the floor. Exhale back up. Left leg touches the floor. Think about your vertical body here. So your body is still making a straight line. It's just on the floor. And this is a wonderful opportunity to feel if your shoulders are working symmetrically, because you can feel that feedback on the floor. Are your ribs staying connected to your abdominals? Is your tailbone staying down? Can you manage this precision and coordination? We're adding on here. So we're going to inhale, reach the right foot down toward the floor. Push the towel up. Pull the towel down as you bring the leg up. Inhale to reach. Exhale to pull. Remember, don't overuse your hands. Use your arms, use your chest, use your lats. Inhale, and above all, use your belly. Your head opposes the push of the towel, as do your ribs. Inhale, exhale. Inhale, exhale. Two more. Inhale, exhale. Last one. Inhale, exhale. Now keep your elbows down. Double leg toe tap. Down and exhale up. Inhale down. You've got to use your butt. Exhale up. If you're feeling this in your back, it means you're giving it up somewhere. So mind your range of motion and use your glutes to support the weight of your legs as they go down. Yes, you will also feel your quads. 4 more. Everything is pressing into the floor. Last 2. Last 1. And up. Push the towel up. Lower the feet down. Toe, ball, heel. Keep your towel reaching up. Your legs stay glued together. You let your legs rotate to the right. Feet stay stacked. And you bring them back up on the exhale. Inhale, rotate just the hips and the legs. Your towel is glued to the ceiling. Exhale, center. Feel that through your natural waist. Inhale, over. Exhale, up. Now I'm not going all the way to the floor. My back is a little tight today, so I'm just honoring the amount of rotation that I can manage from my abdominals. Let's make it a full breath. Hold the legs in that rotation. Push the arms up. Back to center. Other side. Rotate the legs. Squeeze them together. Hold them there from your obliques. Deep breaths. Pull your towel taut. That stability from the shoulders will help you manage the load of the legs here. One more. Back to center. Bring the towel down to your hips. Set it on your pelvis. Flip your palms up, opening the hands on the floor. Okay, so back of the hands are on the floor. We're going to do a little work for the fingers here. So I'm lifting my hands just so you can see my hands. We'll pull the baby finger in, then the ring finger, then the middle finger, index finger and thumb. Circle the wrists. Circle the wrists open, palms open. So if your hands are on the floor, baby finger, ring finger, middle finger, index finger, thumb. Flip your palms down. Flip your palms back up and open the hands. Okay, we'll do that a few more times. Last one. Take your arms out to a T now, palms up. Bring your knees to your chest, and you're squeezing your Fletcher towel in your hip fold. Yep. You're just squeezing it in your hip fold. You're going to tip your legs to the right, circle the legs down like you're trying to touch the floor with your toes, and back up. Go the other way, left. You're circling your sacrum and back up. This is like a baby corkscrew. To the right, circle down and around and back up. Feel your low abdominals. You do this. Your shoulders are just glued to the floor. Yep, you're giving your sacrum a little massage here, but you're using a lot of magnet, low belly, and leg to manage the weight of the legs as they circle down and around. One more. Bring the knees to chest, give them a hug. If you want to hold under your knees and pull them to your armpits, and rock side to side. Okay, stretch your right leg out. Stretch your left leg out. Just take a moment to press the arms out to either a low V or a T. I'm going to go with a low V just so you can see my arms, because I think the camera loses them if I go too wide. Collarbones wide, shoulders underneath you. Draw your right leg up your left leg, bending the knee. And then reach that leg up to the ceiling. Bend and straighten, keeping your thigh in the exact same place. Bend, so you're just touching your inner knee, and straighten. Really stick your butt down into the floor. This is very similar to the Batmas we were doing in yesterday's bar class, that tap to the floor and lift up. Similar, not the same, but using the same muscle group. One more. Hold the leg up as straight as you can. Pulse the leg towards you. Notice those ribs. They probably want to go popping toward the sky. Use your opposite leg to hold the floor down. Last set. Now flex and point the foot. 1, 2, 3, 4. One more. 5. Lower the leg down to the floor. Other leg. Bend to bring that leg up. Now you keep the thigh in the same place. You bend to straighten. 1. Bend to straighten. 2. Shoulders tuck into the floor. 3. 4. One more. 5. Hold it here. Pulse the leg towards you. deep hip fold. Last set. Flex and point. Flex. Two more. One more. Hold the point. Lower the leg down with control. Take your arms wider out to a T. Draw the right leg up the left. Keep the knee bent. Rotate the pelvis. So you're on the side of your left leg. Your right knee is looking across the room. Your hip is reaching out of your waist. Okay, don't let your knee flop over toward the floor though. It stays in line with your hip. Yeah, so take your left hand, actually put it underneath your knee. Your left shoulder stays on the floor. So your hand is not supporting the weight of the leg. It's just reminding the knee to stay in that plane. And then you reach the leg out and bring it back in. That's it. Push that right shoulder down as you reach the left leg out and bring it back in. Use your obliques here to keep the body in position. Inhale, reach the leg. Exhale, retract the leg. Inhale, reach the leg. Exhale, retract the leg. Two more. Straight body. One more. Find the reaching of your body. Hold it there. Flex the foot. And then pulse the toes toward your opposite armpit here. Last set. Point the toe, bend the knee, return the pelvis to the floor. Now keep the knee bent. Open the leg out to the side for a passe and bring it back up to parallel passe. Open it to a turned out passe. It does not rest on the floor. Back to parallel passe. So this might remind you of bar class yesterday again. Reach it open. Use that exhale to pull it back up. Left leg is pressing into the floor. Reach that right leg open. You're using pure hip abduction here, nothing else. Left ribs support the trunk on the floor. One more. Hold that leg open. Hold it, hold it, hold it. Bring it back to parallel. Slide the leg back down. Okay, I gotta scoot a little to my left so I don't kick my reformer on the next side. So draw your left leg up your right. Good. Pivot your pelvis. So I'm really working to keep this left shoulder down, but my hips are now stacked and my knee is reaching straight out from my hip. What happens if you let that knee flop toward the floor is it generally pulls on your shoulder too much. So keep the hips stacked. You're trying to reach that hip out of your ribs, but you're also trying to pull this armpit down. Extend that left leg out and bring it back in. Reach it out. Bring it back in. Excuse me. Reach the leg out to stay. Flex the foot, pulse the leg up. Ooh, this side is so much harder. Last set. Point the toe, bend the knee, come back to center. Okay, scooting back to center so you can see the passe better on the camera. So now the hips are square on the floor. You're rotating that leg out to the side. Bring it back up. Find that rotation in your hip. Turning that leg open and back up. Your opposite hip is just totally rock solid on the floor. now. Hold it open, hold it open, lift it up, and slide the leg down. Okay, we're gonna add our towel to the passe work on our back. So, give your towel a quick measure, holding the towel over the chest. Before we go into the passe, flex the feet as if you're standing on the floor, press down through your legs, and just take the towel over the crown of your head first, without touching the floor. Yeah, see what your ribs do. See what your pelvis does. I immediately want to tuck, and so I've got to find the back of my thighs a little more, and maybe you give yourself a wider stance. See if you can bring the ribs down, keeping the arms in that hover. So much harder here, oh, there's the chair, to find that funnel of the ribs. We all want to yank up on the pelvis, and that really shortens the leg line. So push an imaginary wall away with your legs. Yeah, and you might bump into the legs of your chair here. That's okay. Push the towel into the legs of your chair. Give yourself more lat line and feel the wrapping of the scapula around the front of your ribs. Pull the towel taut here. Let it go slack. Pull the towel taut here. Let it go slack. Pull the towel taut. Let it go slack. You're keeping the towel hovering off the floor, managing this from your lats, your ribs, your upper abdominals, your lower abdominals, your legs. Head presses down, collarbones are wide, so much is happening. Pull the towel taut, bring it all the way down to your hips. Take it back overhead. Feel that range of motion and feel your scapula underneath you and how they move. Point the toes as the towel goes overhead. Flex the feet as the towel comes to the hips. And point. And flex. It's nice here to lay on the back and do some towel work because you can actually do some bilateral footwork, which you can't do if you're standing. One more. Point the toes, keep the towel overhead. Okay, bring the legs together. Draw the right leg up to parallel passe. Open the passe out, external rotation. What happens to the stability in the frame of your body, your left hip? Does that knee pull your pelvis off the floor? So let's do this. Let your knee pull your pelvis off the floor. Pull the pelvis back to the floor. Let the knee pull the pelvis off the floor. Pull the pelvis back to the floor. What do you have to pull the pelvis back to the floor with? Your obliques. Inhale, exhale. Inhale, exhale. Keep your shoulders square. Inhale, exhale. And you also have to use the back of that straight leg to find the floor. One more. Reach the hip, pull it back, parallel passe, stretch that leg down, bring the towel down to your hips. Ooh, take a moment here. Yeah. So this is very similar to a piece on the reformer that we do. It's a unilateral piece where we rotate the hips, move the hips back, and you're pushing the foot bar, you're pushing the carriage out with one leg. So this is a level 2 unilateral leg and footwork piece on the reformer that we do. That's quite a lot of fun. Pull the towel taut. Take the towel overhead. It's hovering off the floor. Very nice. And then draw the right leg. Oh, sorry, we just did the right leg. The left leg up into your parallel passe. Keep your side bolts level. Okay. Now, we're going to take that passe, turn it out, but keep your right butt cheek on the floor. How far can the passe go until your butt cheek wants to leave the floor? Now, on this side, I can't go as far. It's much harder to manage. This side already feels a little bit like, what is happening? Come back to parallel. Find your organization. Start to take the leg off center. So what is this also like? This is very similar to a bent knee fallout on the oov, laying on your back, right? So if we just do these, we're laying on our back on the oov, we do a bent knee fallout, can we stay stable on the oov? Very, very similar. It's just a little more is going on here with the upper hemisphere too. Now, let the leg go off center. It pulls the hip off the floor. You pull the hip back to the floor. You pull the hip off the floor. You pull the hip on the floor. The knee doesn't really change position here. It just, you let the weight of the leg draw the hip off the floor, and then you've got to refine that pelvic stability. Keep your shoulder blades hugging your back. Try not to let them fall into the floor. Work your protraction here from your pecs. 2 more. 1 more. Parallel passe. And lower the leg, bring the towel back down to the hips. So there's some definite intermediate fundamentals going on there. So if you felt like there was just a lot to manage, that's very accurate. Okay, so we set the towel down. We don't use the towel to stretch the legs because it ruins the towel. We pick up our yoga strap, and that's why I'm just using the strap that I carry my yoga mat with, nothing fancy. And I'm just gonna put my foot in the loop and then hold it with my right hand. So I've got the loop, and actually I'm gonna put the loop around my heel so I can push into my heel. Yeah, and you're gonna press your opposite thigh down and really give a pull with that strap. That's why I didn't want you to do this with your towel, because you will ruin your towel over time, and the towels are not cheap. A yoga strap is much easier to replace, less expensive. So that's me looking out for your finances. You're welcome. Push your heel into your yoga strap. Pull the strap. You want to feel your hamstring really respond to that opposition. So you're pushing your butt cheek into the floor, and you're feeling truly the length of your hamstring. You're not letting your butt come off the floor. That would be stealing length from your lower back. Good. Feel that deep, deep stretch. Deep breaths. Gradually pull the leg towards you a little more. You're giving that leg a lot of feedback. I am pulling like crazy with both hands. It's actually kind of hard on my hands. But I want that hamstring. Hamstrings can take a lot of force. So push that strap away, 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 away. Okay, switch legs. Put the loop around your heel. Yeah, good. Push into that heel. Push your butt down. Get your hip out of your waist. I sometimes will wrap my strap around my hands because it's just a lot on the hands. Pull. It's an opportunity to work your grip strength. Nothing wrong with that. Stick your fanny out. Stick your fanny out. Deep breaths. Remember, the opposite leg is also pressing into the floor. So everything has a job. Everything has a job. Okay, take that strap off. Arms out to a T. Right leg comes up the left. You reach that leg up to 90. Hopefully 90 is a little easier now that we stretched out the hamstrings. We're doing controlled circles. We're going across the midline without moving the pelvis. Circle down, around, and up. Stop at the top. Inhale over. Exhale around. Inhale over. If you've got grinding or clicking in your hip, you need to make your circle smaller. Find the place where there's less noise, because noise often indicates there's an instability somewhere. You can also slow that circle down. I was feeling a little clicking, so I'm going slower, and it's much harder. Reverse. 2. Opposite leg pushes down. 3. 4. 1 more. 5. Knee to chest. Oh, give it a snuggle. Take it off to the side. Whew, support the weight of that leg, and then slide it back down. Press your arms back to the floor. Draw the left leg in and up. Go across first, down and around. 2, 3, 4, 5, reverse. Last one. Give the knee a snuggle. And slide it back down to the floor. Okay, bend your right knee. Roll over onto your belly. Okay, and this is where you're going to use your chair. So you're going to lay on your belly and you're going to hold on to the legs of your chair. Okay, forehead is down on the floor. Toenails are pressing into the floor. Legs are hip distance apart, but not super wide. So you want to have that top magnet still really working, okay? Lengthen your tailbone. That's going to feel really good on your back. Now, push the chair away from you. I'm already jamming it into my bar. I'm going to scoot back a little further. Okay, push the chair away from you, shrugging your shoulders. Pull the chair towards you. Push it away. Pull it towards you. Now, what is this piece like? Well, in bar class, when we do that cat stretch with our hands on the bar, and we're standing in that L shape, it's that shoulder shrug. But I like this so much because it really draws the shoulders into the body when you have something to pull. Now lift your head off the mat so your head is just floating between your biceps. Shrug and set. Shrug, and as you shrug, reach through your legs and set. Belly in, shrug and set. 2 more, shrug and set. Last one, shrug and set. We're going to combine this with a single leg lift. Shrug, lift one leg. Push the leg down to pull the chair in. Lift a leg, push. Exhale, pull the chair back in. And if you don't have a chair, you're using straight arms and you're just shrugging your arms on your mat. You're sliding your arms out and you're drawing them back in. So it is a shoulder movement, not an elbow movement. If you're working the elbows, you're doing something totally different. Straight, straight arms. Totally straight arms. 2 more. We're trying to open up that lat line, which is really hard to open. 1 more. Sorry, 1 more on the left. We started on the right. There we go. Okay, push the chair away. Put your towel in front of you. Okay, hands on, palms on your towel. Fingers straight. Wrists are straight. You're actually pushing your towel into the floor. So what I want you to imagine here, and my hands are as wide as my mat. My legs are a little more narrow. I'm lengthening through my tailbone, pulling my belly in, and really my arms are completely straight. Completely straight. That's important because if they're bent at all, you get nothing here. You're looking for this right here. Okay. Push the towel down as if someone is trying to take it out from under your hands. Lift your head up. Good. Now lift your head up and look underneath your chair. And then pull the towel towards you just enough to feel your shoulder blades connect into your back. If you are at all in your lower back, you have lifted way too high. This is just for scapular depression, and we're maintaining a little bit of protraction, but there's no lift or elevation of the shoulders at all. Okay, so shoulders are totally depressed, a little bit protracted, a little bit externally wrapping around the body, and my chest is still on the floor, but my heart is lifting between my arms. Hold this, push down through those arms, lift one leg, lower it down. So if you feel this in your back, it means you're using your back to lift your leg. You've got to use your ass cheek to lift your leg. Yes, just the butt. And that might mean you don't go so high. Remember, range of motion, load, and speed are earned. They're earned through stability. If you want to take this higher, and you can keep this in your upper back, even though you're introducing more lumbar flexion, you can absolutely do that, and then your legs are hovering. That's a progression. Last two. Last one. And then push the towel away from you to lower the head down. Toggle your pelvis side to side. Yeah, let that thoracic lumbar junction just get a little wiggle, 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 wiggle. Now, can you wiggle the pelvis without wiggling your shoulders? Just a fanny wave. There we go. Yeah, because if you're also moving the shoulders, you might actually not be moving the thoracic lumbar junction. There we go. Yeah, just the pelvis. It's like someone's hand is on your sacrum and they're just rocking your pelvis side to side. Yeah, keep waving your fanny. I'm inhaling for 3 counts. Exhaling for 3 counts. Just rock the fanny. Rock it, rock it, rock it. Yeah, let that lower back loosen up. We're just being nice and gentle. Rock it, rock it. Just a little gentle side to side there. It's a little bit like you're giving your pubic bone a massage on the floor. Yeah. Okay, stack your hands, press your forehead onto your hands, but push your elbows really firmly into the floor. Like push them into the floor so hard your armpits are trying to also press into the floor. I want you to notice how much width this creates between your shoulder blades. So your shoulder blades are trying to get the heck away from each other, and they're trying to dive down through your armpits, okay? And it should feel like your chest is being mushed into the floor. Mush it. Yeah, okay, now, this is a weird one to make sure I'm not going to kick anything. Okay, so for this one, we're going to smack the top of that foot on the floor. Smack. It's like you kick it to your butt and you smack it on the floor. Your kneecap will come off the floor. Remember when you were a little kid and you had a tantrum? Yeah, this is like that. Now other leg. Smack. 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 At first, sometimes it might feel like, oh, my knee's not sure about this. Do it a couple times. You might be surprised. It's actually for the hamstrings. So, and it reduces a little tension in the knee joint. Now we're going to do one leg and then the other. Smack, smack, smack. You're trying to get your heels to your butt and smack your feet on the floor. Now notice if your pelvis can stay firmly on the floor. First time I did this, I was shocked at how sore my hamstrings were the next day. My knees were fine. Hamstrings, hamstrings. Pull those heels to your butt. The top of your feet are going to get a little bit like, what is happening? Last set. Lower the feet down. Curl the toes under. Lift the kneecaps up. And again, just toggle the pelvis side to side. Release the toes, pressing them back down. Come up onto your forearms. Pull the belly and the ribs in. Draw the shoulders back. Lengthen your tail towards your heels. Lots of glute here. Now walk the elbows in a little more. Curl your toes under. We're pulling up through the belly into a forearm plank, and we're making our body as straight as possible. And then from here, you pike the hips up, you toe the feet in, and you bring your knees down. And we come into a child's pose, stretching the arms out. Now, child's pose, but tent your fingers. And make sure your forehead can rest on something. Stretch your arms out. Feel this as a stretch in your armpits. 2 more deep breaths. 1 more. Rolling up on your heels. Okay, so we're kneeling. Retrieve your towel, put it across your thighs. Quick measure. hands, hold the towel out in front of the chest. Now find your vertical body sitting on your heels here if possible. If you need to sit cross-legged, you can sit cross-legged, but we are going to come up to an upright kneeling. So then you're just staying in cross-legged position if you're there, okay? Pull the towel taut reached out in front of your chest. Good, now pull your belly in and feel your sits bones kind of push down and into your heels. So you're lengthening your back, okay? Squeeze your legs together. Inhale, pull. Exhale, lift the towel over your head, and then try to reach the arms back to get a pec stretch here without letting your body arc forward. And you can feel that in your heels. Pulse the arms back. So looking for that plumb line from the head all the way to your butt, into your heels. 2 more breaths. Last breath. Inhale, bend the elbows, bring the towel toward the base of your skull. Exhale, push it back on that upper diagonal. Give yourself a little more width if you need to. You should feel this in your armpits and your lats, not in your rotator cuff. You want to feel this wrapping of the tricep around you, okay? So there's a lot of external rotation that has to happen here. 2 more. One more, reach it back. Now the towel comes up and forward as you come forward onto your knees. Really push with your butt. Try not to arch your lower back. So you're working for a lot of energy up through the front bolt, down through the back bolt. Okay, we're here. Lift the towel overhead. Press it down in front. Lift the towel overhead. Now take it all the way down to your thighs this time. Overhead, full breath. To the thighs, full breath. Overhead. To the thighs. Overhead. Now bring your left leg forward in front of you. Square off your hips. Press the towel down. Now make sure that you are staying in a straight line over your kneeling knee. Okay, so we're not going into a low lunge here. We're staying over the kneeling knee. You're trying to open this hip by using your gluteal fold. Towel is here. We're adding rotation to the left if your left knee is in front of you. If your right knee is in front of you, you go to the right. Pull up through your belly. Manage the rotation in your torso, not your shoulders. Lift the towel over your head. Press it down. The center of the towel stays with the center of your chest. So I'm not trying to do this with my arms. Towel's in front of my chest. 1 more. Come back to center and bring the leg down, towel down. Arms come down, roll the shoulders. 2, 3. Pull the towel taut, lift the towel overhead. Open those armpits, see how far back you can take it, bring it back up and down to the hips. And up, and back, and up, and down. 1 more, and up, and back, and up, and down. Now the towel comes forward as you bring your right leg forward. Remember, you're managing over your kneeling knee, and then we rotate to the right. Lift the towel, press it down. Lifting the towel, press it down. You should feel a lot through the front of this thigh, and I am pushing my toenails into the floor to get even more length in the front of that hip. So good. One more, lift. And down. Come back to center. Lower the leg, lower the towel. Sit back on your heels. Bring the towel down. Roll the shoulders. Reverse. Pull the towel taut. Take it out in front of your chest. Lift up to kneeling. Bring your left leg in front of you. Curl the back toes under. We're going to get ready and stand up. So you're going to push up, feet together. Pulse the towel over the head. Last set. Bend the elbows. Bring the towel behind your head and all the way down behind your back. Good. Reach the towel up and bring it down. Inhale, keep it taut, reach it back and bring it down. 2 more. One more, reach, hold it there, pulse it back. Towel back up and bring the towel to the hips. Lifting up, bring it back behind the head. Reach it back and down. Come back up and press it down. And up and bring it back. Down and up and forward. To stay, release the tension, roll the shoulders. Okay, I'm going to open this up to a wide second position. We're going to finish up with a little bit of an around the world stretch. So I'm going to side bend toward my left leg. Plie. Reach down with my head, my arms fall toward the floor. I come up the right leg, straighten the leg, and rise up. Good, let this breathe a little. Side bend. Plie. Going down and around. Release neck and tension. In fact, release your towel to the floor. Coming up, ragdoll arms. Go back the way you came. Reach down and around. Lift up. And go the other way. Last one. Down and around. Rise up. And center. Take the arms up. Now bend the knees. Take your left arm back as your right arm goes forward. You're diving toward the foot. You're going to take the arm over your shoulder, go across, take this arm back, come up, go down. It's like a saw pattern. Go over, go across, reach the arm up. Windmill those arms. Last one. Reach up. Woo! Both arms lift. And open the arms up. Bring them all the way down. Walk the feet in. Open and close the hands. Last set. Reach and bring the arms down. shoulders, feel the length of your neck. The magnets, close your eyes. Standing on your center, lift through the belly. And exhale. That's where we're going to stop today. Thank you so much for joining me for Vertical Body Class, and I'll see you next week. Bye!